Hello, my name is Dr. Ragini and I am from Ansal Technical Campus, and now I will be talking to you on the subject managing the talent. So, before we move on, let me just give you the learning objectives of this session. The learning objectives at the end of this session would be: what is talent management, the importance of talent management, model and strategy for talent management, then how a particular company can build their own talent management strategy, then the process of talent management, and further to the talent management process, there are some key steps to be followed. Moving on, when we talk about this term talent management, the first word talent should be focused upon. Who are talent? Whom do we call as talent? So, if we go by the dictionary meaning of talent, means a skill or ability. That means we are talking about people who have some skills, abilities that makes them expert or specialist in their own area. That means we are here talking about the experts, the specialists of their own areas, that how to manage them, that is how to retain them in the organization after they have been hired or recruited. So, if we have to define this process, talent management is a constant process that involves attracting and retaining high quality employees, developing their skills and continuously motivating them to improve their performance. What actually happens? When a person joins a company, and as I just now said that we are talking about specialists, the experts in their areas, obviously they have some set of skills already developed with them, and therefore they have some expectations also from the company, right. So, in the beginning everything is new, everything is fancy, and therefore they are also happy that yes, they have come into a new environment, but over a period of time what actually happens is that this starts getting faded, right, because then things start becoming monotonous, same old routine, now reporting at 9 o'clock, doing all these work 1 to 10, and then logging off at 6 o'clock, going home. So, the life is nothing more than a monotony. What to do? And if this continues for a longer period of time, the candidate, that employee starts getting demotivated, bored, and starts looking for some other avenues. And moreover, if nothing is done to break that monotony by the company, surely the employee is going to start actively looking for a change. But as we just now said that he is an expert in his arena. Therefore, leaving the company is a great loss for the company more and less for the employee. Therefore, what is required for the company out here is that continuously make certain such programs, continuously keep on engaging that talent in one or the other thing, so that he finds the job lucrative every single day. He finds his office more of a picnic than being a place of boredom, right. And obviously, along with that, the skills will also be sharpened, and the employee will learn new things in due course of time, that will make him more able, more skilled, and a better potential candidate for the company, right. So, talent management therefore is a constant process, it is an ongoing process. You just cannot do some activity for once and then just leave that employee forever. No, you have to keep on doing these activities on ongoing basis, and that makes the work of HR very rigorous in case of managing or for managing these talents. But end result is quite good. End result is, that is, if the candidate, if that employee remains motivated by way of these talent engagement activities, that is training, development or team building activities. It could be some outbound activities also, maybe going for picnic, maybe going for family outing, etc., 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 right. So, what happens, that boosts up his morale and leads to improving the personality performance, right. So, talent management is very important, very necessary to create and sustain motivated workforce for the company. Moving further, why talent management? In nutshell, we talked about performance, and here we would start with improvement of performance only. How performance can be improved using talent management technique. So, as you can see from this picture, it was a survey conducted by McKinsey, Dr. McKinsey, and the results were that immediately after the hiring is done by the company, the first step for the HR should be to allocate different roles for all the talents that have been hired. Then after allocating various roles to these talents, then positive employee experience, that is HR team should start talking to them, should start facilitating them, should start, if L&D is required, that is learning and development is required, which is very much required in case of new hires, the fresh hires, then that should start, right. So, that they start feeling, these new employees, they start feeling part of the company, they start feeling that yes, they are being treated just like the other employees of the company, they are feeling feeling like they are part of the big professional family, and then leading them to various strategic HR teams, right. They can making them part of the decision making aspect in the company. So, when these things put together, they are done in the with the talents, with the people in the company. So, that leads to managing them. In nutshell, in a you can say common man's language, if we have to say, this only means the moment an employee has been onboarded, the first thing an HR should do is that allocate them with their teams, allocate them with their departments, with their pool of people or with their units. And once this is done, now the task of the unit, respective units start, where they start assimilating those new people into their pool and letting them feel that yes, they are also part of the company. And gradually these employees will also be given the opportunity to take decisions on behalf of the company for their own respective units or departments, which makes them feel that yes, they are needed in the company. The company has just not hired them for show, but company actually needs their talent, company actually believes in them. Once this is done, then yes, the employees are satisfied, and this satisfaction leads to job commitment, which would of course result into financial performance. Financial performance means that is business coming in raw terms, right. So, obviously at the end of the day, it is the business which matters. So, if business is improving just by a small task of talent management, then why not? So, that is why talent management is required out here. Now, apart from this, there are other reasons also, like it allows companies to stay competitive, right. Today, there in every industry, in every sector, there are a lot of companies, and therefore, every employee, every talent has a lot of options. If you are not able to satisfy the employee, obviously he becomes an active job seeker, and in no time he would start looking for another employer. As a result, he may move to your competitive. The moment he is moving to your competitor, obviously it is a threat for your company. The company would also not like that, spending some time for the employee, with the employee, hiring them and then training them, making them aware of their policies and everything, internal aspect, and suddenly the employee leaves and joins a competitor, right. At the same time, the talent moving to another company, obviously the performance is going to some other company, the business is going to another company. So, that is also a big threat for the company would not like. So, that is why this is required that a person who has been hired should be retained in the company lifelong, and if I say, and I would say, if not lifelong, at least for a substantially long period of time. Innovation is another reason for talent management. Yesterday only I was talking to a new hired employee in a technology firm, and what he said was quite amazing. Same old policies of the company to be communicated to the existing employees of the company. Now, when you hear this, it sounds very old, same old policies to be communicated to the same old employees of the company. What is so new about it? Obviously, it is not new, but then it had to be made new. How? The new employees, the management trainees hired around a month back, have been given the task of coining a very catchy name to these policies, and these policies should be communicated to the existing employees, usually the middle level employees, with those catchy names, right. So, there what exactly is this? Again, as we say that old wine in the new bottle. So, is the same thing. They have just they are trying to communicate the same old policy, but with in a new package, right. So, this is only possible when you are able to retain the latest talent, and this was possible because they knew that these new grads, they have come with a very fresh mindset and a new skill sets, they will be able to do it, and of course, they did it. In no time, I still remember they were on this virtual meeting site, around I must say 10 or 12 of them sitting together, and they just brainstormed for 2 hours, and they came up with different ideas, and there was that idea was sent to their unit heads in no time. So, for these kind of innovations to come up, again you need your talent, and in order to let these talent work on all these in these areas, you need to manage them. And once it is done, then yes, your teams become productive also, because they find reason for staying in the company, and this gradually decreases the turnover also, right. Because if the employee is satisfied, if the employee is finding his or her worth in the company, then yes, why would they would like to leave the company. Then we talk of employer branding. I have been talking about this phrase, this term lot many times before also. So, the question comes, who actually creates employer branding? Does the top management? No. The employees, the current employees in the company, they create the branding for the employer, because when they go out meet different people on different platforms, and there when they talk about the good part, the rich culture or the rich environment of the company, the all the goodnesses of the company. So, that creates that strong employer branding, right, and ultimately it motivates all others to grow, because then if one person is growing, he or she will motivate others also to grow in the same manner. So, overall growth is there, and that overall growth leads to the organizational growth. Now, we move on to the next thing, that is talent management model. As you can see from this picture, the talent management model comprises of 5 components. It starts from planning, attracting, developing, retaining and transitioning the talent. When I say planning, planning means understanding the business strategy, measuring or evaluation of the strategy, and then workforce planning, that is human resource planning. How much is needed, how much should be procured, what is the budget like, etc., etc. And please remember one thing, whenever we are devising one such model for our optimal workforce, the organizational strategy should not be forgotten, right. That everything, every planning should be in keeping in mind the organizational strategy, right. Once the planning has been done, then comes the talent attraction. We have talked about earlier also how to attract talent for your company, marketing, employee value proposition, talent acquisition and freelancers, consultants. All these, when you publicize about your company, when you publicize about the values of your company, the beliefs of your company, then yes, you are able to attract right people for the right job. Developing them, once they have been attracted, they have been hired in the company, the next step is developing them. Developing comprises of onboarding, then performance appraisals, learning and development, career progression pathways and capability framework developing. Developing is a very big task, and as I said earlier, this is an ongoing process also, which should take place and which does take place at every stage in the company. Even the seniors also, the mid level also, they also need learning and development, they also need developing themselves from one point to the another. Right. So, it is a I can say ongoing process, and which most of the time keeps the HRs very busy in the company, right. But this is something which actually retains the talents in your company. Apart from this, the retention strategy would also involve good remuneration. If you have a proper remuneration strategy, the salary breakup is known to the people, the incentive breakup is known to the people, the bonuses are known to the people, promotional avenues are known to the people, and what would be their financial gain to them if they are promoted. If everything is known to them, then yes, they are clear about everything, and that keeps them satisfied and retained. And of course, culture plays a very, very major role in this. And then the last one is transitioning. Transition means moving ahead, right. If an employee is hired today, obviously after a couple of years he will be moving to a next position, then next position, then next higher position, and finally towards the retirement. So, that is succession planning, internal mobility, retirement plan, knowledge management and exit interviews. Everything should be crystal clear on the paper, transparent and known to the employees very clearly. And if this is being done then I can bet, I can say for guarantee this results into organizational performances and positive outcomes in terms of positive growth for the company and for the people inside the company. Right. Moving ahead, let us talk about the talent management strategy. The very first strategy is hire only the top employees, very easy, right. We have IIMs here, we have IITs here for the engineers. You have needs of the management grads, go for the IIMs. You have needs for technical grads, go for the IITs. Over. If you want slightly lower, if you want to come slightly lower down, then we have B grade colleges, NITs and all, XLRIs and all. So, you can immediately just close your eyes, go there, hire the talent, pay them exorbitantly, and they are in with you. Results will be awesome, no doubt about it, right, because they are performers. And therefore, the moment they join your company, they are certainly bound to give you performance. But they would come expensive, right, and will cost you even more if you end up needing a hire someone else. And not only they are expensive, they are at times not that satisfied as you feel or as you want to give them that level of satisfaction, because they want more, they still feel lost, they want a higher pedestal. So, they will not stay, it is difficult to retain them, it is difficult to satisfy them, right. And more important aspect, finding them from the pool of employees is a little difficult task, right. Not every company can be invited in IIMs or IITs for placements. If you go to the employee pool data like Naukri.com, like Shine.com and all that, there also these grads would be there, but then identifying or finding these grads out of the pool of thousands and thousands and lakhs of employees is a difficult task. And then you cannot have only these people. Too many people, all top notch people put together at times, yes, brainstorming would be there, results can be very good, but then at the same time the competition, you cannot escape that competition and leading to underperformance. That can also, that cannot be avoided at all. So, be prepared for that, right. So, hiring top employees is a very good thing, but it has its own disadvantages. Moving on to the next one, the promising specialist and develop them, right. Go to campuses, the B grade colleges, come down a little lower, C grade colleges, go to the campuses, hire the talents, hire the specialists, the promising ones. Promising ones are, who are the promising ones? They have the ability, they have the talent, but it needs to be developed, it needs to be nurtured. You need to develop them, you need to train them a lot to make use of their talent, make use of their ability, right. And in return, what are these employees going to give you? 100% loyalty. They are going to remain with you for a very, very long time, right. But this will hamper the growth of the company, right. The growth of the company will become slower. Then at times, if you need to take a task, if you get a massive task from somewhere which needs to be done by a specialist only, again you have to hire a specialist, those top performers. So, again that would result in create a disbalance, a financial disbalance in the company. So, what should be done? Combination of first and second strategy, right. That is hire both, maybe one specialist and a team of promising talents. could make the best of the pool for your company, which would be long lasting. This pool would be long lasting and the results will also be awesome. Leaving aside those strategies, the companies, these are certain things based on that. The what is required for the companies is that they customize their own talent management strategy, because every company is not same. Some there are pros and cons with every company, there are strengths and weaknesses of every company. So, using those strengths and weaknesses, they should customize their own talent management strategy, right. They in the end, I would talk about the talent management process, which starts from specifying the skills needed, that is attracting the right people, onboarding and organizing the work, then organizing learning and development, performance appraisals, retain best talent and plan the succession. We have already talked about all these things before in this session. It's just sequencing it in a flow, right. That is, the first step starts, or talent management starts from specifying the what type of skills are needed in the company. Say for example, if I talk about this strategy, that is having best of the both the words, say I might be having pool of promising specialists, right, who might be performers also, but there is no one to give them direction. There is no one to tell them how to accelerate their performance, what to do next, or what to do to reach to the next pedestal. So, there I need a specialist, right. So, what exactly I need? I may be having 1 or 2 positions in the senior management level, but what type of that senior management is required? So, specify that skill, and based on this, if I need a specialist, then I need to go to that pool of specialists only to attract the right kind of people, right. And in order to attract right set of people, I have to show them the bait that they require, that they desire rather. Bait could be high salary, good working environment, relaxation in their working hours, or we can say flexi time, or maybe work from home option, or maybe if the company is mediocre or maybe they are smaller in nature, they can hire them as consultant also, right. So, the company, as I said earlier also, customize your own talent management strategy here, how to attract right set of people. You have done this, then onboarding and then organize work according to their specialty, right. Give them some training if they require, 4-5 days, a month, 6 months, whatever. Performance appraisals from time to time, and then based on those appraisals, retain the best talent in the company, right, and plan the succession. Now, what is planning of succession here, right? So, let me tell you, employees do quit, even if an employee is very committed, then also he will quit, or maybe retirements will take place. So, that position is bound to get vacant. You have to have someone available immediately to fill that position, so that that vacuum is not created. So, that succession, I can say a second line should always be prepared by you. So, with that I complete, and in the end I would say talent management helps you maximize value of the employees. Thank you.